Person I'm very much looking forward to seeing with my own eyes is my wonderful friend Annelise Nielsen, who right now is in Pennsylvania. Annelise, that's the state, that's the one, that's the tipping point. Give us an idea. Have you finally been able to meet the one person who's absolutely sure of what the result's going to be in Pennsylvania?
Absolutely not. Not least everyone we've met here who are the actual voters that are going to decide this thing. But the one thing I can tell you, Paul, from the people we've been talking to, is it seems like a lot of the passion is gone on both sides. I've had volunteers tell me in multiple states they have fewer problems having their signs stolen. We talked to a bartender yesterday who said she's had fewer people fighting in her bar over politics. And that's the mood at the moment. No one's excited about any of it.
Yeah, I'm just looking here at the latest polls in Pennsylvania. Trump leading, Harris leading, Trump leading, Trump leading, Trump leading, Trump leading, which is why they say he's ever so slightly in front. Do you meet people who have changed their mind in the past 4 years in a place like Pennsylvania? Because if everyone goes back to the same corners, we know. But the whole point is, the assumption is that what's happened there over the past 4 years will move people in directions. Are you interacting as you go around the country? Are people willing to say, I was Trump, then I was Biden, now I'm Trump again?
Absolutely, but it goes both ways.
Correct.
And we've heard it from Democrats who said they've supported them for a long time, and now they've had a really tough 4 years. The economy's been bad. And a lot of them in America, in a non-compulsory system, sitting it out can have the same effect as actually casting a ballot. And we hear from Trump supporters who say they're fed up with the drama. They don't want to go back to any of the kind of heightened politics of the Trump years, and they're just not excited about Kamala Harris either, so they're going to sit this out as well, which is why it's so interesting to see so many people casting their ballots early. We know Republicans have completely changed their tune on this. They said 2020, don't vote early, it'll get stolen. This time around, they're saying we've got to swamp the vote, just get your vote in however. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what that surge looks like in the final few days, because there are still people who haven't made up their mind quite genuinely.
Well, and also, can I caution anyone who goes sort of Twitter diving and you see people talking about, oh, the early vote for Republicans is this and the Democrats is that. There's a third group called independents, okay? Now, independents currently in national polling, Harris is slightly above. So if the Republicans are just in front, Democrats are just behind, well, then that can be the difference in the world, and vice versa, okay? So again, lots of people will say what's happening. We don't know until Wednesday of next week. Annelise, the closing arguments, we know what it is, where there's going to be sort of the focus on January 6th and the shadows of it from Kamala Harris. Trump, of course, Madison Square Garden. He'll cop it a bit for the comedian for a couple of days, but other than that, she broke it, I'll fix it. It feels like, to me, Trump has a more convincing argument than Harris, but what do you think?
Well, look, on the Trump side of the ledger, we have an economy that people aren't happy about. Cost of living is just something everyone brings up with us. The only people who tell us they don't feel the pinch of cost of living are those retired people who are drawing on Social Security and have fixed expenses. And they're tending to lean more Republican as well, because they think that Donald Trump is the person that they trust to not touch that. When we're looking at the polling around how Americans feel the country is going, to have in the 60s and 70s% of people saying that the country is going the wrong direction, that really should be fatal for anyone seeking re-election. And I guess that's the big question is, do people consider Kamala Harris new, or is she considered the incumbent? We hear that cut both ways, and it tends to be based on just how much they hate Donald Trump is when they put that argument forward. But on the whole, people are really suffering, and that is a really strong argument for Donald Trump to say, hey, things were pretty good when I was in. I mean, we can go into all the machinations of the economy and what really made it good and what's really going to make it good. But at the end of the day, people can't afford what they could 4 years ago. It is very obvious, and it's a very strong campaign point for Trump.
Annelise, well, I was paying attention to every word that you had to say. That beautiful tree behind you as well. Can't wait to be there. See you in about, just a few days' time, darling. Thank you. All the best.